Is Matt, your Aravaipa Virtual Race Director here, and I am here to bring you kind of our week 2 live stream for the Cocodona Virtual Experience. So we didn't have a dedicated live stream last week for this. If you tuned in, we did offer, like 70 plus hours of race coverage that was live streamed on the YouTube channel here for the Cocodona 250. So Rob, myself, Chris Warden, Anthony, our kind of technical director here, we're all in the studio kind of putting that together. So I apologize if my voice starts to crack at all. It was a long week last week being on camera, and so we might keep this live stream just a little bit shorter just because of that. But again, I want to do a few things in this live stream. I want to kind of recap what happened with everyone's virtual experience last week. I want to announce our award winners or prize winners for the Vert Challenge that kicked off week 1. We'll raffle off some stuff here, and then we'll kind of talk about this next section of the course. So the goal with this entire event is to try and immerse you as much as we can into the Cocodona 250 experience, and obviously that's a little bit hard from a virtual standpoint, but basically we're going to try and walk you through the course in like 50-ish mile chunks and really give you a good description of kind of what that section of the course is like so that you can have maybe just a better understanding. If you're looking for basically any additional ways to kind of understand the course better, in the weekly email, I have been linking some video content, but there's also some training videos and other video content both on this page and the Run Steep Get High page. And then in addition, like I said, we did do about 70 some odd hours of live broadcast of the race. So if you really want to get a immersive experience, definitely check that out. And then also, before I leave, Anthony just popped the live chat over here for me. So if I look this way, it's because I'm looking at the live chat, but I definitely want to try and interact with you all if you're in the chat. So Good Morning Ramerica. Yeah, it's like the Cocodona edition of Good Morning Ramerica. So I'll definitely be interacting with you guys and gals before we leave. But before I forget, let's go ahead and dive straight into our Week 1 challenge winner. So let me pull over the iPad here. And this is the current leaderboard. But in order to participate in the weekly challenges at the end of the week, basically you need to send me the data for whatever that weekly challenge is. So for week 1, that was vertical gain. And a lot of that was because in the first 50K of the course, runners climbed about 10,000 feet. So the challenge was to get as much vert as you can in that first week, and whoever had the most vert is going to win a Run Steep Get High prize pack. So I'm scrolling through the leaderboard just because I want to pull up the name. So the winner of this challenge was Wayne Edgar Ramage. Apologies if I mispronounced that name, but he is currently at 46,000 feet. When he sent me his run data on Sunday, he was over 40,000 feet. So a ton of vertical gain for Wayne there over in Franklin, Tennessee. So he's going to be the winner of the Week 1 challenge. And then if you, for some reason, missed it in the Week 2 email, this week's challenge is the most nighttime miles run. So that is, I believe, between 7:30 p.m. local time and 6:30 a.m. your local time. So the reason for this is because this kind of stretch from mile 52 to 104 in the course was most people's first night during the race. So most of the runners would have hit their first night at some point during this stretch. So again, in order to participate, you just got to run your miles at night, as many as you can. At the end of the week, send me your nighttime total, and then send me screenshots of your runs that also have the start time of the run in there. And again, this is we're trusting in you all to kind of play fair here. So just be honest with your run data, and we'll kind of get through this. So Sarah over here, hey Matt, it's been so much fun, but so challenging. I've never run a 70-mile week before. Sarah, congratulations on your first 70-mile week. Rob Ricardo in the chat. That's funny. I didn't see Rob when I pulled into the office today, but he's in the YouTube chat. So, no, shout out to Rob. I hope you're getting some much-needed rest. And everyone in the chat should wish Rob a happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday, so everyone make sure you wish Rob a happy birthday. The live stream of the Cocodona 250 wouldn't have been possible without Rob, and he put in a lot of long hours to help bring that content to the forefront. And so while I'm on here, we're going to just go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard. We have, I believe, I checked just before this, 124 people have logged results. So if you haven't logged your results, make sure you do so, and you can do so by just going to the results page, and you can click Submit Virtual Results right there. And then the easiest way is probably to manually enter your run data. Once you enter your run data, I will look through the results and everything over the course of the days and weeks to come. And if I see anything that looks off, I will reach out to you to just provide proof of those runs. And so the first person we're going to shout out is Rich Myers here. Rich does so many of our virtual events. He's a Valley local here in the greater Phoenix area, obviously over in Mesa. But Rich is just crushing it. He runs a lot of the canals. He runs a lot around his kind of complex where he lives. And so Rich, already at 229 miles, I feel like he can smell the finish line, as they say. Then we've got Christopher Lentcomb from Lee's Summit, Missouri. He's got in almost 24 hours of running. Sorry, I did not mean to do that, but there he is. And he has run 138 miles. In third place, Hugh Hollerbach from Fremont, California at 135 miles. So those two are pretty close. And then our top females, we've got Miss Brenda Daly from Bedford, Texas at 115-ish miles. We've got Shody Austin of Glendale, Arizona, right down here in the Phoenix area at 96.676 miles. And then we've got Gisela Jennings in third for the women at 91.91 miles. So, pardon me. And then again, one of the cool things about the way this event is structured is you can see the little progress bar there as well. So you can see basically how close participants are to completing the total 255-mile distance. Sorry, just glancing over in the chat here. A lot of happy birthday, Robs. Yep, happy birthday, brother. And now we are going to go over to my favorite social media platform, the good old Instagram. So we originally had said to use the hashtag Cocodona Virtual when you kind of plug us on Instagram, but it seems like more people want Cocodona Virtual Experience, so that is a good hashtag to use as well. So we'll just scroll through some of these and pull these up. We've got Sarah here, 25 miles on the trails today and 15 yesterday. Building mental toughness is a key part of training. And looks like she is probably in the Columbus area just from tagging Fleet Feet Columbus. But love to see the dense and lush kind of forests that are located in various parts of the country this time of year. So shout out to Sarah there. What do we have here? We got a post from us. Beautiful photo, though. I must say so myself. Oh, here we go. We got the Dirt Diva with a picture of her bib. Her out on the trail. Shout out to Katra Corbett, for participating in this year's event. Love the photos and the energy that Katra always brings to all of the races she participates in. And then I can't skip past my boy, Jem Rooney, over in the greater Sydney area in North Richmond. Just crushing it. Much love to all the Aussies out there. Much love to Jem. Jem, He participates in a lot of our races, and he's just a good dude. So shout out to Jim there. Always has a lot of energy in his photos too. Let's go ahead and take a look here. We got a straw hat. Rich, why are you on the railroad tracks? Is really what I want to know. I saw actually a photo of Rich. This is Rich Myers, the current kind of race leader. I saw a photo of Rich in this straw hat. That's a really cool straw hat, Rich. If you watch this or are watching this, you should let me know where you got that straw hat at, because I definitely need a good straw hat down here in the desert. So shout out to Rich. He is closing in on his 255 miles. And then let's see who we have here. Running to Paradise over in Florida. This is her day one photo. Day one, she got in over 1,300 feet. I know I used to visit a friend in Jacksonville quite a bit, so I know how hard that can be in the state of Florida to find that kind of gain. So shout out to her and her printed race bib. So if you haven't had a chance to customize your race bib and print it, I believe you can go to aravaiparunning.com/Cocodona-virtual-experience. And if you scroll down, there should be a link that directs you to that bib. So definitely check out that virtual race bib. There are no assigned bib numbers, so you can create whatever bib number you want. You can use your lucky number. You can do anything you want, but definitely go and check that out. And then we've got a photo from the start line. Wait, is this the same? Was the last person I just pulled up that same? Running to Paradise. Running to Paradise, were you here? Were you at the start line of this race? That's amazing. That definitely looks like a photo from the start line. So shout out to you. And shout out to all the other participants here. We got one more here. The same running to Paradise is just crushing the Instagram game. So I think that we need more of you people out there, more of you wonderful participants out there to get involved in the Instagram grind here. Hashtag Cocodona Virtual Experience. Oh, someone's telling me she photoshopped it. She could have fooled me. I will say I'm not like the smartest when it comes to basically any form of technology. So yeah, she would have fooled me for sure. But that isn't that impressive, to be honest. Fooling me shouldn't be like the standard of impressive. So, but shout out to everyone participating. Hopefully we can continue to fill up this virtual hashtag with amazing content. Beverly O'Neill is laughing at me in the chat. Yeah, I would laugh at me too, Miss Beverly. So I definitely don't blame you whatsoever. So she definitely fooled me though, that's for sure. And so what else here? So before I forget, we are going to raffle off a Aravaipa Running kind of swag pack. And the weekly raffles from here on out, we will post this video in our Instagram feed. And what you'll need to do is go in and comment your weekly run distance. So the distance you ran for that week to be kind of entered into the raffle. We did not do that last week. We just obviously had a ton going on. So what we're going to do is a random number generator. I can't think of a more fair way for all participants to have an equal chance at winning than this random number generator. So there were 124 people who had submitted results at the start of this stream. So I'm going to hit generate, and whatever number it lands on, that person on the leaderboard will win this week's prize. So here we go. Number 36. So let's go over here and see who that is. Alan Cusme from Avondale, Arizona. So I will reach out to you, Alan. You are the winner of this week's raffle. And so you're going to win an Aravaipa Running prize pack. Sarah, I'm not on Instagram, so am I out of the raffle? Yeah, well, the raffle is currently set up on Instagram. Let me give it some thought. But as of right now, I think at least for next week, it's only going to be on our Instagram feed. However, maybe we mix it up in the following week's raffle, and we do another random number generator or something like that. I don't know, but we'll figure it out to where everyone's included here. And now, let's see, what else? I think that the last thing we have is to just kind of preview a bit more of the of kind of this week's section of the course. And so Anthony, our kind of technical guru here for all our live content, has been gracious enough to put a flyover together of this section of the course. So we're going to play this flyover, and I will try and kind of describe as much of it as I can to you as we're going through it. But aside from this flyover, you can also watch a lot of the live coverage. We've got a lot of really good footage of runners coming through this section of the course, as well as some of the other content that is linked in the email that was sent out Sunday. If you didn't get that email, please shoot me an email, matt@aravaiparunning.com, and I will kind of copy and paste it over to you so that you're included on all the wonderful kind of immersive content that we're providing you. But we're going to go ahead and play this flyover, and again, I'll do my best to narrate this, but this section, of course, spans from Battle Flat, the Battle Flat aid station at mile 52, to the Feign Ranch aid station at mile 104. So we are going to go ahead and play that flyover, and again, I will try and narrate as much of that as possible. So you can kind of see here, as soon as they start leaving Battle Flat, it's a pretty kind of meandering trail, and then they start to hit this climb, which after the first part of the course, the runners got a bit of a reprieve, and so to hit that climb that might be heading up towards Mount Union, I'm not exactly sure which of these peaks is Mount Union, but I do know they run up towards Mount Union. They're going to follow this beautiful kind of ridgeline spine that is just rolling through the hills here as they make their way towards the Camp Kippa aid station, which I believe is around mile 65. I don't have any notes in front of me, but I believe it's around mile 65 that they get to Camp Kippa. And so they come up here, and then they have a slight descent into Camp Kippa here. And so I'm actually going to pause there, and I know I paused it a little bit late, but that Camp Kippa aid station is actually where, on our live coverage, where we got a lot of really good kind of campfire footage. And thank you, Anthony, for rewinding that back for me. And so you can see they kind of drop into here. We got a lot of really good footage from this aid station runners coming in at night before they kind of descend their way to the next aid station. And Camp Kippa, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is actually where Jamil sent us off on our day one coverage. So our day one coverage, I believe, ended at the Camp Kippa aid station with Jamil in front of a campfire there. And so we will move forward here. So just a short, I think, 7 or 8 mile descent, rolling descent from the Camp Kippa aid station is going to take runners down to the Camp Wamatochik aid station. And that actually, I believe, is at around mile 72. And that you can see right up here, Camp Wamatochik. This is, so I'm going to pause right here. So you can see that aid station. We're not quite to it yet on the flyover. But that aid station is the first point that runners could pick up pacers. So, again, another kind of memorable aid station because it is the first point on the course where runners can grab a pacer. And so we pass through Camp Wamatochik, and from there, I want to say it's about a 8 or 9 mile kind of flat and rolling descent down to the heart of Prescott and Whiskey Row. So runners are going to cut through here. And I'm not sure exactly, but this kind of forested area looks like that might have been one of the sections where we saw Stan the Man. So I know Jen Laughlin is in the chat. Jen, I'm not sure if you can tell us exactly where you picked up Stan, but Stan was a crowd favorite on the live stream. He was finishing his adventure up at Whiskey Row. He was going to miss the cutoff, so he was going to finish his day there. But I do remember that we had picked him up kind of in a more forested area where there was some wildlife that was seen. I believe even maybe a couple javelinas. But then runners I'm going to kind of keep this moving now. Runners are going to kind of take these roads into downtown Prescott and the iconic Whiskey Row, which you can see right here. A nice zoom in. Anthony, did you do that? Anthony zoomed that in. That's a perfect shot there. So yeah, runners, pardon me, runners would have hit this aid station at mile 81-ish, and you can see there's a gap kind of in between the two buildings there. That used to be, I believe, a bar or a saloon that had burnt down a while ago, and I believe that is where the aid station actually was in kind of that open area in between those two buildings. And so this also, I believe, was where we witnessed Jamil take a nice shot of warm whiskey at this point in the race. So 81 miles in, Jamil had a beer, I believe, at the Crown King aid station at mile 37, and now enjoyed a nice little shot of whiskey here at Whiskey Row. And then I also believe this is where we saw leader and eventual winner Michael Versteeg say that the only thing he wanted if he won this race was to shoot hoops with Chris Paul and to meet the Phoenix Suns, which, you know, after a race like this, runners probably deserve like a trip to Disney World or to go like spend some time on a beach somewhere. No, Versteeg, he just wanted to meet Chris Paul and shoot some hoops. So typical Michael Versteeg fashion, just wanting things that you know, as he said, he's not unreasonable. He just wants stuff that hopefully we can deliver. So once runners leave this aid station, they're going to kind of continue down the street here. And the next, like, kind of key landmark isn't actually an aid station, but it's probably one of the most picturesque places in all of Arizona. So you can see a little bit of a road stretch here as runners make their way through Prescott. And runners at about mile 88-ish are going to come up on Watson Lake and the beautiful granite dells. So Watson Lake is a man-made lake made back in, I think, 1915. And so you can see here we're starting to approach Watson Lake, and this flyover is probably never going to do it justice. But all of the bays here of Watson Lake, you can see right through here, are made up of these like granite slabs, which just make for an absolutely stunning kind of landscape. It makes it probably for a very eventful trail as you kind of meander your way through here, but definitely a place on the course that I think most runners will remember because it's so unique to Watson Lake. Sorry about that. And so we are now back on the trail, moving forward through. You can just see some of these beautiful rock formations as runners make their way. I believe the next aid station is mile 94 at the Iron King aid station, which basically gets them ready for the trek over the iconic Feign Ranch, I do believe. But you can see how after the the first 50K was chocked full of climbing, runners are just out in the middle of this valley. And for some runners, I believe they said it got pretty hot through here. So even though you aren't down in like the low desert, you are definitely. And here we go. There's the Iron King aid station. So this is the last aid station before the iconic Feign Ranch. I believe this is around mile 94 and 96. But from here, runners are going to cross over the iconic Feign Ranch, and there's so many interesting like facts about Feign Ranch that I personally think are really awesome. So the Feign family started cattle ranching in this area in like the 1870s, so it's a super old ranch. But then, sorry, I'm just looking at the flyover here still. This is actually really cool. But then, like, at one point, the ranch was so big that it had encompassed, like, the entire floor of the Prescott Valley. So it spanned from the Bradshaws, which is where runners kind of just came from, all the way out to the Black Mountains, which is where they're heading to, which we'll talk more about in the next section. But this is also an interesting section because runners can see, and right through here, runners, I believe this is Feign Road, and I believe that this is a stretch where runners actually went through it's like a metal pipe. I forget what it's called, but it like runs under, like a culvert that runs underneath the road here. So, excuse me. But yeah, runners crossed not over the road, but I believe they went under through a culvert. So that's something really cool. And yeah, shout out Joel in the chat.
Yeah, you can kind of see it on the other side of the road.
Yeah, that was definitely the word I'm looking for. And you can see it just on the other side of the road there where the kind of the course line comes out and makes its way to the right. But yeah, it's just really cool. And this ranch is all private property. So like this would be one of the first times that runners have had the ability to like traverse this iconic landscape. And this is also a section where off in the distance runners would be able to see Mingus Mountain, which again we'll talk about kind of in the next section. But it's a climb that takes runners basically from Feign Ranch up Mingus Mountain to the aid station, which is, I think, just over 7,600 feet. So runners can kind of see their journey unfolding ahead of them as they traverse this, like, just flat ranch kind of valley. And so you can see we're coming up on that aid station just here. And we saw this was a place for a lot of runners where, and I'll pause right here so you can kind of see the different mountains off into the distance here. But that's the iconic Feign Ranch there. And it's Feign Ranch has just like such a cool story and is steeped in Arizona's kind of cattle ranching history. And so it's another one of those places along the course that is just chock full of history. So we had the Crown King Saloon earlier, which Crown King has such a steep mining history, and then that saloon specifically is the oldest continuously operated saloon in Arizona. And you make it now to Feign Ranch, which is just this massive cattle ranching operation that has been in existence for 150 plus years. So that is going to do it. And that's where kind of this section of the course ends. So this is mile 104. So that was kind of the stretch from mile 52 at Battle Flat to mile 104 at Feign Ranch. And again, there wasn't a ton of climb in this section, so there was a lot of downhill, a lot of rolling, and a lot of flat. But for a lot of runners who hit that like valley during the day, there was a lot of heat, or they did think that it was hot at times. So it was definitely an interesting section that, although although it wasn't super climby, it was still rough for a number of the runners. So, and before we call it a day on today's live stream, I do want to take a look over here at the chat. So if you have any questions or anything, definitely just drop them in the chat here. Akiko Crawford, shout out to last week's Ultra commentating live stream during the race. Yeah, no, the live stream coverage was amazing, and Rob and I just got to sit in the studio and talk about a sport that we love. But the real MVPs of this situation were all the volunteers at aid stations and all the filming volunteers and the runners who let us shove cameras in their faces. All of those people played such a vital role in bringing that content to life. Stace Vandersteck, did you announce the raffle winner? Stace, we did, and the winner was Alan Cusme. So we did a random number generator to choose the winner because we had not done an Instagram post for this week. For next week's raffle, you will need to enter your weekly mileage in basically this video that will be in an Instagram post to be kind of entered to win. Kudos to Feign Ranch for letting the runners go through. Yeah, huge shout out to the people at Feign Ranch because it is such an iconic spot, and it was definitely important for us to include that as we tried to share the history of the great state of Arizona as we kind of took runners on this adventure. 2022 Cocodona, when will registration open and will it start on a Monday? I am going to punt that question along, and whenever I have an answer for you, Mauricio, I will come back to that. But as of right now, we don't know any of those answers right now. I think our team is just trying to decompress a little bit before we start the wonderful planning process for the 2022 Cocodona. Frank, what is the next race that is going to have that kind of coverage? We are talking about that still. I don't want to announce anything until we have it finalized, but we will definitely be doing more races that have, that kind of in-depth coverage. And to be honest, we're always looking to improve. And for races that are shorter than Cocodona, which is every race, it's going to feel a lot easier for our team, and we know what we need to do in order to ensure we can provide you all with the best coverage and content as possible. And it looks like that is it from the chat. So that is going to do it for this week's live show. If you have any questions, as always, shoot me an email, matt@aravaiparunning.com. I'll try my best to respond as quickly as possible and to be able to answer any and all of your questions. So that's going to do it for this week, and I'll see you all next week for our live show.